The answer to the riddle of Darwinism, forgive me, the answer to the riddle of is Darwinism rational would be depends. Darwinism is an ideal. And, we had different ideologies and what have you. And for this ideology pertaining to survival, pertaining to flesh, it is absolutely rational. And it makes perfect sense pertaining to survival in the wilderness. However, pertaining to love and consideration, you see what I'm saying? How the band acted on the Titanic could be seen as a noble thing to play, even though that the ship was sinking, to try to provide some peace to the individuals that was aboard the ship. Okay? The point is that none of these individuals would be up on a psyche evaluation had they came out of this situation pertaining to their mental health and well-being. Okay? So, the fact of the matter is just because something is ideal doesn't always mean that it's necessarily rational. It depends on how someone looks at the matter. It really does. And for the purpose and goal of this world, okay, it's the fact that in the situation that you have an adversary, there is love and there is hate. But if the circumstances, not the circumstances, but the essence or my spirit, if I grow in spirit to which I can love my enemies, then the burden becomes a light thing, because nothing is hidden. You see what I'm saying? If I am able to love my enemies, then nothing is hidden, because out of consideration and out of honest, sincere concern, all right, I try to look out for my neighbor. Not to snitch on them, not to cause them any harm, but for the betterment of their life. All right? My neighbor, whoever I'm around. You know what I'm saying? Not to love other individuals according to their actions, but to love individuals according to their spirit, and to love the spirit of an individual, right? Be it that if you be in the spirit of love and not circumstance, then that same love be refracted to you through who you're in love with, and you become one. Whether that means by means of a child or some romantic interest, that where there is that, there is God. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to come from a place of love. That's why I can speak from my heart. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to say, and my words do not fall to the ground, because I am showing you that the Holy Spirit is in my heart. Now, I have flesh on, and I'm not perfect. But considering the fact that we can't truly have diversity and enjoy diversity while we set up all these secret groups and alliances according to knowledges and common interests that divide the public for favors in supply and demand in a world of nepotism, so on and so forth. There are several individuals that either have to join something or get out. This is no different than a prison system. It's the same thing in the real world or this external world and in any prison system. It's the same psychologies, it's the same knowledge, and there's no way to make it if you're an individual that's just pretty much independent for the most part. You have to make alliances somewhere. All right? At least that's what it looks like to me. And, God wanted Israel to marry within the tribes, because basically they had the same spirit and the same understanding. That's why that was that way in the Old Testament. But when Christ opened it up in the New Testament, and now it would be open to Gentiles, so on and so forth, then the true test or the true understanding, I feel like, of the gospel as forgiving someone and loving your enemy and true forgiveness and what have you, would be the situation in which you would see mixed race couples. Because the fact of the matter is this, man. Like, the truth of the gospel going out is individuals of different faiths coming into the fold, and then you have like the rainbow of different cultures and peoples, kindreds and tongues that all worship the same God, that have the same spirit. You see what I'm saying? Where their motives of intention are by love. You see what I'm saying? But for everywhere else, there's a feudal system, there's differences, there's enmities, there's variances, there's strife. She has big titties and this chick don't have big titties. This dude's got money and this dude's broke. This guy's car is better than this guy's, and comparisons and enmity and so on and so forth, where people view this world backwards from superficialities and therefore develop relationships with temporal things and possess possessions that end up possessing them by bills and taxes and other commitments and circumstances, so on and so forth. There's more than one relationship if you're married. There's a relationship with your job. There's a relationship with the terms and agreements on your phone. There's a relationship with your morals and your ethics and so on and so forth. And all of these things must come together. But if my love should supersede those who have hate for me, then what is then of their hate? It is not a situation of my concern, but a situation of my sympathy, and at best, humorous. You see, as I am not in the spirit of offense or to find fault, but to see the cause, understanding and meditating on the past of this individual. What were the circumstances of their raising, so on and so forth, which has put them in such a condition of destitution in which this hate must be exercised extracurricularly rather than keeping one's own peace and acting one's age rather than being childish. Such in we understand spiritual maturity and such forth that we should have love for our enemies any day of the week, 365. This is what Christ asks, and what makes a Christian is a Christian can love those who are their enemies. And this doesn't mean that you're a pushover. It makes you immovable. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out.